Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Coding Every Day. So this is a new series that I am starting on JavaScript interview questions. So this is the first video of the series, and this first video will be based on a simple question, and in this question we will be discussing about the hoisting as well as the scopes of variable. So we'll not go in detail, but whatever we require for the question we will discuss that, right? So I have this setup done. Okay, so I'll just write a normal function. Okay, so it will be function, let's say it will be function cd for coding every day. Do subscribe it. Okay, and inside that I write a function let. Okay, so let a is equal to, then I'll write let b, not let b, b is equal to, let's say I'll write subscribe. Okay, and here I'll return a. Right now what I'm going to do is I'll just log type of a and type of b. Right now can you let me know what is the output of this type of a and type of b? So please do write your answers in the comment section. So pause the video, write the answer. All right, so we'll continue with that. So I'll save it and we'll see what is the output. Okay, the output is undefined and undefined, right? Because we have a and b inside the function, so type of a and type of b is undefined. Okay, but what will happen if I call this function, okay, here, and I'll save it? Can you guess the output? Please mention your output in the comment section. So pause the video right now, mention your answer in the comment, and you can play back again. So I'll save this file, and the output is undefined and string. So for a it's undefined and for b it's string. So it's strange, right? Our function is called, still the a is not in the global scope and b is not in the global scope. So how is it happening? So let us copy this part, okay, and paste it here. Right now if we save this, we see that for this statement it is giving me undefined, but for line number 7 it is giving me undefined for a, and for b it's a string. So similarly this can be done in this way as well. So let's say I'll paste this here, remove this semicolon. Okay, so the a value of a is returned as subscribe, type of a is undefined, and b is string. Okay, so let's put on the debugger and let's see what is happening. Okay, so before that I'll write a demo function here. Okay, so I'll write var do is equal to share, sorry for the typo, share and like. Okay, so you can't write do because do is a keyword, so I'll write to do. Okay, so we will go into our sources. So we have our function here. Let me just resize this a bit so that we can see our program fully. Can we do it for this size? Yes, we can do it. Okay, so I'll put a debugger here, inside this here, and for this to console log, right? And we will reload and see what is happening, right? So for now the execution is going on for first. So before that, execution has not started yet. As we have put the debugger on line number 1, so JavaScript has hoisted our code. So what do we mean by hoisting? For a basic part, hoisting is the process in which memory allocation is being done. Okay, so we can go Google or we can check hoisting in JS. Okay, see, JavaScript hoisting refers to the process whereby interpreter appears to move the declaration of function, variable or classes to the top of their scope prior to execution of code. So this is also another definition where JavaScript is putting everything above prior to the execution. So but it is also a process where the memory allocation is being done. So I'll tell you how the memory allocation is being done. Okay, so once the program started executing, so we have to do here, right? So if you look into this global scope, you will see to do here available somewhere here. Where is to do? Let's scroll down. MNOPQRST, right? Yes, here it is. To do is undefined. So if we want to find our function ced, it will be in the global scope as a ced, right? This is our function. Okay, ced. This is console log, so it will not be here, or it will be here, then doesn't matter. Okay, so now let's get to the second statement. So this is console.log type of A or type of B. So here, okay, let's again click next. So once this executes, okay, so let's check for the A. So variable A is not available here, and variable B is also not here. Okay, so in console we can see undefined and undefined, right? So let's go to the next line. So now our controller is inside the function. So if I minimize this scope, right, so the ced is now pushed into call stack. Why? Because line number 9 is calling ced. Okay, so ced is pushed into the call stack, and if you go into the scope, you will see that let A is now undefined. That means the function has been put into the call stack and memory allocation for A is being done. Okay, B is not yet defined anywhere. Okay, now if I click on next, we see that A is defined as subscribe and B is now declared in the global scope as subscribe. Okay, and if we click on next and next, okay, we need one more next, right, to finish this program. So we see that B is subscribe, local scope is removed from our scope. Okay, so we'll just see the call stack, and call stack is empty. So once the value of A is returned, the JavaScript will remove ced from the call stack. Let will be removed. So why this happened? Like why let A is removed but B stayed? So in JavaScript we declare function in 3-4 ways actually, I can say, but the most popular ways are let, var and const. Okay, so let and const are block scope and function scope variable, as var is a function scope variable, and whenever you declare any variable without a name like let, const or var, then it directly goes into the global scope. So we can see that here as well. So let's say I'll remove this. I'll write let A is equal to subscribe. I'll write const B is equal to like, where is L? Not Ike. Okay, then I'll write var C is equal to share. Okay, and D is equal to, I'll put a number 15. Okay, now I need to put okay, I'll copy this one, Control C, I'll do Control D here. Okay, and I'll copy here and I'll paste this. Okay, so A, B, C, D, and I'll write C and I'll write D. Cool. So let's go to console and I'll save this, and I should remove the debuggers from here. Okay, I had an option to remove all at once as well. So now if you see, right, before calling the function we have undefined, like A is undefined, B is undefined, C is undefined, D is undefined. But after calling the function, A is returned. Okay, so let is returned at this place, but A, B, C are undefined but the number D is what do we say, it's type of D is number. Okay, so let us do one thing. We'll write D here as well. Okay, we'll print D. here. Okay, Control S. You see D is 15. So let's put on the debugger once again. I'll put here, here and here. Okay, reload it. Okay, so let's go to our scope, global scope. Okay, so to do is also always there, so we won't be discussing about to do, but okay, so currently it will not be there, so we'll directly go to the next. So it will print undefined for all. Now let's see, the call stack is empty. As soon as I click on next one, then cd is put into the call stack. Now see what happened. A is undefined, B is undefined, C is also undefined. So memory allocation has been done and undefined is allocated to everything. So let's click on next. See, now A is assigned subscribe, B is assigned like, C is assigned share. Now in D's turn, where is D? A, B, C, D. I see crypto here. So D is 15, right? So once I click on next, okay, so let's see the call stack as well. Again click on next. Call stack is cd is removed from the call stack. Now see, there is no local scope, but still we have D. So once the console log is executed, that is why we see 15. Okay, so this is one question. Since we are discussing about the block scope and all, okay, so you got the hosting part. So let's do some experiments on the block scope. So what is a block in JavaScript? So in simple term, this is the block, and function means this is the function. So let me differentiate on the function scope and block scope as well. So as we see, in function scope, the variable is created inside the function and is destroyed as soon as the function is removed. It's similar for the block scope. Now here the difference comes for let, const and var. So let and const are function scope, var is also function scope, but let and const are also block scope. Okay, but what is var in that case? That we will see. So here it's a block. Okay, so it can be any block, it can be if block, it can be for block. Okay, so if you want to declare a block, so this is the simple block that we can define. Okay, so I'll write let a is equal to, why I'm writing, I'll just copy it from here. Let's copy everything from here. Okay, Control C, I'll paste it here, Control V, uncomment these lines, console log, I'll console log this as we don't need to call the function. Alright, so what do you think the output should be? So comment your output that you are guessing in the, so write down your answer in the comment section. Okay, so I got confused, so I'll just save this. Okay, we'll remove this one and this one. Okay, let's refresh it. So what do you think is the output? See, the output is undefined, string and number. Okay, now the C is share and the number is there. Okay, so as I said, let, const and var are function scope, but let, const are block scope, but var is not a block scope. Outside function, it's a global. Okay, so we will see now debugger as well. So let's put the debugger here and here. Okay, let's see what's happening. Refresh. Okay, so we are inside our block. So inside our block, you see C is assigned as undefined. Okay, but the A and B are inside this block scope, right? So these are undefined right now. Okay, hoisting, and variable is not assigned. So we'll go to next. A is assigned, B is assigned, C is assigned, and D will also be assigned. We know it, right? So let's go one step ahead, and D is also assigned. So now we are out of block. Okay, so that is why we don't have A, B and C. So once I click on next, the console prints this. Okay, so I just want to see one thing, like I'm curious to see. I'll reload this once again. Is there anything inside this call stack? No, right? But we have this block, okay? So the call stack is still empty, but we have the block. So once the block is finished, the A and B are removed, right? So I hope you are clear about the block scope of the variable. So if I want to, so this question turned out from hoisting, from block scope, function scope to difference between let, const and var as well. You see how the things are interconnected between each other. Okay, so from these questions we can define multiple questions as well. So we will do it. Press the like button, we'll do it right now. Okay, so what happened is, in the block scope, the let and const, which are block scope variable, are removed as soon as the block is finished. Okay, but C and D remain. So now we know about the type. Okay, let's delete this one. Let's add a console log of not that fast. Let's take this again here, Control C. Okay, and I need this one, and I'll paste it here. Okay, what do you think the output will be? Okay, so I don't need the type of right now. I just need A, B, C, D. Okay, what do you think the output will be? Are you ready? Let's save it. Oh, what happened? I need to reload it. So we got a reference error. A is not defined. So when we were writing type of A, so it was giving us undefined, right? But now we are not checking for type. We need to identify this A, B, C, D. So A is not defined. Why? Because we had this block, A was created and destroyed. So if I just put this Control C and within this one, okay, and save it, we will see subscribe, like, share 15. Okay, so please subscribe, like and share. Okay, so that is a mandatory thing that you need to do. Okay, now, okay, so we see that it is giving us a reference error. Okay, so let's remove A and B and we'll print this. So see, it gives us the value of share and 15. Now I'll copy this one and I'll mention it here. What do you think the output will be? Let's write down A and B as well here. Okay, comma. What do you think the output will be? So 3, 2, 1, save it. So A is undefined. We got this error. Why we got this error? Because it's a block scope, right? So it should be like A is always there. We see that it is defined as this undefined. So let's debug this one. Why did this happen? What is this error? It says that cannot access A before initialization. But what is the reason? Why we can't access A before initialization? So let's check this one. So we don't need to check this. We go to the next line. Okay, so here we have A and B, right? But we can't find. The reason is let and const during hoisting are stored in place called temporal dead zone, right? So that is the reason A and B cannot be provided here. But if I write C and D, okay, and I'll save this one, clear the breakpoints. So breakpoints can be cleared from here as well. Okay, just refresh it, console. You see share and 15 is given here. Okay, so now share, why C and D is provided as share as 15? Because var outside a function is a global, okay, and without any identifier, if we are declaring, it's already global. So that is why we got share and 15. But now I am curious to see if I paste it here, right, what will be the answer? You know it will, what? D is not defined. Now it's again a different thing. Why? Because the controller hasn't reached here. Okay, So you can see, and if I only write C, C is undefined because C is hoisted and it's put into the global scope, right? So these are the few scenarios that we saw. Okay, so it's like the global variable without any declaration, and const and let, you cannot like output it or use it before the declaration. You can use it after the declaration. Now the second question is, if I console this C and D right here, copy, and I'll paste it here. Okay, what do you think will be the output? So let's check it. The output is share 15. Obviously it will be share because I haven't changed share, and let's say I'll write 15 plus 20. Okay, now what will be the output? Share again and 35. Why? Because as it's a global variable, it got overwritten by these two. Okay, now while we are discussing about the block scopes, let's do one more thing. Okay, now I'll uncomment this function cd. Okay, now I have a var c here and d as 15, so I'll write d as 0. Okay, and here it's 15 and here is 15 plus c. So I'm not worried about this one, let and const. Okay, but I want to check if okay, so tell me one thing, if I console log c and d here, what will be the output? You should be able to know it by now, but let's save it. D is not defined. Okay, reference error. Why? Because the function is not called. Okay, let's call the function cd. Now you know that d is 0. Okay, d should be 0, but wait, but here and here, what will be the output for 22 and 32? Think about it, pause the video, think about it. Okay, play it again after you have decided your answer. Okay, now I'll save it. You see, for C it's undefined, D is 0. Why? Var is a function scope, with function it got created and it is removed. Okay, and for var we don't get any error. Okay, and let's go for this one. Okay, line number 22, C and D, it's share 15. Why D is 15 now? Because D is global, so here we changed it, so it's now 15. Okay, and here as C and D both are global, we get share again and 35. Okay, so I want to see one thing here, right? So since we got C as undefined, I'll put a debugger here, I'll reload this one. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video and you got to get some knowledge out of this. So this way there can be multiple questions that can be created. Okay, so you may write the function inside it, after it you can call the function here as well. Okay, so let's do one thing. I'll cut this one and paste it here. Okay, this will give us an error, we know it, right? So we'll remove this one and I'll copy this one here and paste it here. Okay, now I want you to find out what is the output. Okay, before that I had a debugger here, so I'll remove it. I'll go to this one and save it. You see, this got 0, but share again is C is share again. Why C is share again? Because this was the global variable declared. Once the function is called, C is declared within a function and it is destroyed within a function. D whereas has overwritten this value of D. Okay, so that is why this happened. So I want to know few more things. I want to experiment on other things. Since we are discussing about the block scope, I'll write, okay, so you know difference between const and let. So we'll discuss about that as well. Okay, so if I write const a is equal to 0, right, and I'll write let b is equal to 10, okay, and var c is equal to 5, right. So one more difference is, if I now write a is equal to 15, b is equal to 20, c is equal to 30, okay, and I'll just save it. We don't need to print it. So this gives us a type error that const cannot be reassigned. Okay, so this is wrong. So this is one more difference apart from the scoping, that you cannot reassign a value to const. So during declaration of the variable you can assign the value. Once it is declared, you cannot assign any value to const. Okay, it's a constant variable as the name suggests for const. So let's remove it. We'll console log b and c, log b comma c. Okay, I'll save this one. So we have 20 and 30. Let can be reassigned, var can be reassigned. Okay, so const cannot be reassigned, let can be reassigned, var can be reassigned. Now what is the difference between let and var? Okay, now the difference is, if I do okay, so I'll go this way, let b is equal to 50 and let, okay, sorry, var c is equal to 90. Okay, you see I am getting an error here. Why this error? Cannot read declared block scope variable b. So since now the difference comes for b is that, so it's same for const as well. You cannot redeclare const here. Okay, const a is equal to 5, it's an error. So you cannot redeclare const. I'm sorry about this. So as I am saying, you cannot redeclare const and let, but the difference between const and let is that let can be assigned a new value later on, whereas const cannot be assigned, right. So let's remove this one. So we discussed that let and const are block scope. Okay, but if we write it here as, let's say I'll write let b is equal to 30, right, const a is equal to 10, var c is equal to 88, right, and I need to print a, b and c. What do you think will be printed here? Guess. Okay, so we'll save it. It's 0, 10 and 88, right. This was the expected value because var is now a global scope. It will override this. Let me remove let from here, and I'll remove const from here because const doesn't have any thing here. I don't have any question for const yet. So what do you think will be the value of a, b and c now? So we'll save it. Now b is 30. Now you ask me how does this happen, like b is 30. So let's put a debugger. Where do we put? Let's put it here. Okay, and reload it. Now you see there is a script written here. Okay, script a is 0, b is 10. Okay, and now c is 5, c is in global scope, a and b are in block scope, so it's in script because we don't have any block yet. If I go to next line, you see b is now 30. Now comes the next what do we call the theory of or the next feature of JavaScript, that is lexical scope. Okay, so since b was already declared and we can declare b as well, but this block has access to this B. Okay, now the confusing part is this B could have been a global scope as well. Okay, so whenever I have written B is equal to 30, it looked for this B. Okay, it's lexical, it's parent. So if I say about the lexical scope, it's the block or function along with it parent's memory. Okay, so it's like the block has access to its parent, so that is why it looked for B there, it found the B and then it changed the B value, right? So that is the reason. So if you want to know more about hoisting, blocks, I don't think you would have any questions in that, but if you want to know more about hoisting, execution context, then please let me know in the comments. I'll make a separate video on this, and for the next video I'm planning to differentiate on splice and slice on the arrays, objects and strings. So that's it for this video, guys. See you next time. If you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.